everyone, and welcome to AVIXA TV. We're back at it again, broadcasting live from the AVIXA Exchange booth here at InfoComm on the last day. But we've got so much ahead for you. So I'm Samantha Powell with AVIXA.
And I'm Ben Thomas, host of Market Scales Pro AV today. It is day 3 here, Sam. It's sad but exciting because we've seen so many wonderful things. There's so many wonderful people here at the show this year. But this is one of my favorite segments because we have 3 industry titans on the show today. Who is our first guest, Sam?
Well, our first guest needs no introduction. He is AVIXA's very own fearless leader, our CEO, and one of the coolest people I know in the AV industry, Mr. Dave Labuscas. Thank you so much, Dave, for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down with us today.
Good morning. I'll take time out of any schedule when somebody calls me one of 3 titans with your next.
Look at that. It's the truth, though.
Yeah.
It's the truth, though.
We won't tell you who the other 2 are, but you know. Well, thanks again for joining us. So I think it's fair to say being here at InfoComm, it's food for the soul, and it just feels so great to be back with everyone in the AV community and to be in person and see all of the AV magic that's here on the floor. Can you just share with us how you feel about being back back at InfoComm? I can speak, and what InfoComm means to you and to the AV industry as a whole.
Yeah, food for the soul, right? Let's start there. I mean, it's our industry is an industry that's all about people. I mean, it's technology, but it's about putting different parts of technology together to create a solution. And nothing in AV is done without a team of people. And this week is the physical manifestation of our industry. It's the jolt in the arm, it's the food for the soul, it's the energy, it's the double shot espresso. However you look at it, this has been a re-energization of the industry. I feel it. I'm so pumped up. I'm ready to do it again next week.
Well, Dave, you talked about AV being about the people and InfoComm and AVIXA being about the people in the community. Not only the new people who are joining the community from the collegiate and high school ranks, but new industries too. What are some of those, or who are some of those new industries that you're seeing at InfoComm this year?
Yeah, that's the AV community, right? That's been an exciting part of my position, is seeing that community evolve, seeing how it morphs through time. And clearly, the pandemic has elevated AV to be an absolutely mission-critical aspect of every organization's technology. But a lot of the people that are doing AV today don't even know that they are doing AV. And a lot of the work that we're doing as an association is to reach out to those individuals and introduce ourselves. They want the expertise, they want the knowledge that will help them be successful with applying our solutions, but they aren't absolutely certain where to go. And it's certainly not where they have traditionally gone to develop their IT skills. So that's a perfect part of what this is. A lot of companies are bringing people here for the first time this year to see AV, to understand AV. Then they'll leave from here and dive into building expertise and knowledge.
No, well, that's perfect. And so obviously InfoComm is one of those ways that we're getting those communities that were once siloed, together. What other ways do you think we can get those different communities engaged?
Well, I think all of our events are an on-ramp to engagement, but clearly we've all learned that we also need to be able to engage outside of the physical space. And the AVIXA Exchange community that we've launched and brought forth this week in particular is the place where people will be able to continue these connections. It's not the same as the conversations in the hallway and all of us being stopped 37 times on the way between West Hall and North Hall, but it is close, and it really gives us all an opportunity to keep those relationships alive. And those relationships are at the core of the knowledge sharing that takes place.
Well, Dave, we talk about some of these newer AV communities as well, whether they're entering through the exchange or just through different ways in the industry. The challenge of someone who's a little bit more seasoned in AV versus maybe a new IT integrator who has not ever been in AV is that there's a massive knowledge gap, right? So the education that we need to do with our long-term integrators and partners looks different than maybe the IT communities and some of the newer education communities. How do you guys approach that as an AVIXA team to help educate those newer communities?
We are developing essentially bespoke education products and programs for those audiences. There are a number of programs out there to teach AV people IT, right? What is needed to fill that gap is how do you teach IT people what AV is and the priorities and the capabilities. So none of the IT fundamentals go away when you're talking about AV. You still need cybersecurity. You still need a reliable network. You still need to be able to manage traffic across that reliable network. But what AV brings to that solution set or requirement set is audibility, visual, the context of background noise, and the alignment and synchronization of audio and video signals. And that's areas that somebody that came in through a traditional IT networking background isn't necessarily going to be sensitive to. And it's actually pretty easy to teach by just demonstrating when it's bad, right? Once we know what's bad, then we can make it good. And once people have experienced good, and this I think is at the core of our industry, once people have experienced good, they want good, right? Whether it's good food, good suit, good car, whatever it is, once you've had good, you want it.
Yeah. Well, Dave, we've got about a minute left, but we can't let you leave without taking a pull of the AVIXA Slot Machine 5000. I guess that's what we ran with. Let's run it and see what we come up with this time.
The question is, what is the most interesting new technology?
There you go. What is the most interesting new technology that you've seen this week?
Besides that, little
Besides
slot.
the wonderful
There?
AVIXA Slot
Yeah.
5000.
No, I have never and won't ever answer this question. I won't. It's cool that it's there. This is like asking me which of my two boys I like more. I am so excited about all the technology that is here. What I'm excited most about is not the technology, but the application of the technology and how our exhibitors are reaching out and using technology to create scenes and demonstrate the application of it rather than just talking about the box or the kit. So I find that fascinating.
Well, thank you for sharing. If you picked one of your favorite sons, we wouldn't tell them, so
Just tell us when you're off.
Yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards. But thank you so much again for sitting down with us and being such a great leader in our AV industry. So thank you again for taking the time, Dave.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. Well, now why don't we take some time to see my final ride in the Teslas with our contestants at the Tesla Trivia Challenge. I'm here with Lauren with Windy City Wire. Lauren, are you ready to take the Tesla Trivia Challenge?
I think so. Let's do it.
Let's go for it. You're going to do fantastic. All right, come on. Impersonators of what famous entertainer are often requested to officiate weddings in Las Vegas?
Elvis.
Correct. There are 3 professional sports teams in Las Vegas. Can you name them? 1 point for each.
The Golden Knights.
Correct.
Pass.
Okay. How many inches of rain does Las Vegas get annually? Hint, it's under 10.
7.
4. How many gallons of water are filtered through the Bellagio fountains every day? 500,000, 5 million, or 50 million?
50 million.
5 million. What famous boxer made a cameo in the movie The Hangover?
Pass.
Okay. In the movie Ocean's 11, which 3 casinos were robbed? 1 point for each answer.
The MGM.
Correct.
Bellagio.
Correct.
Mirage.
Good job. Standing at 550 feet tall, the high roller in Las Vegas is the world's 2nd largest what?
Ferris wheel.
Correct. The newest addition to the Las Vegas Convention Center is a hall that carries the name of which cardinal direction?
West.
Correct. What major sports event is set to close portions of the Las Vegas Strip in November 2023?
Formula One.
Correct. How many members of the Rat Pack can you name? 1 point for each.
Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin.
3 points. Nobody knows the other two. That's fine. The most expensive hotel room in Las Vegas costs how much per night? $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000?
50.
100,000.
It is time to announce the results of the Vegas Loop Tesla Trivia Challenge. In third place, Allison, with 10 points. She did great. She's funny, which is good for everybody else. In second place, we have Lauren with 12 points. And naturally, John, you're our winner with 13 points. Congratulations.
Do I get the Tesla? Is that what I get?
Yes, that's the thing. He doesn't get the Tesla. Don't tell him that. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been so much fun having you here. We are looking forward to the rest of the show out here at InfoComm 2022. That was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. That was a lot of fun. Thanks again to the Vegas Convention Center and Conventions Bureau for giving us access to shoot down there. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
You know, we talked about industry titans. We have two industry queens with us next. We have Gina Sanzavero and Miss Corey Schaefer. I guess, can we say formerly of QSC, is that?
No, I'm still QSC
She's
till
still
the end of the month.
QSC, okay. And Gina's with Atlas IED, two absolutely fantastic and wonderful companies here at InfoComm this year. We're talking about collaboration in AV, and look, we thought we'd bring on the two queens of AV to talk about just that. Look, guys, we're excited to have you here. How's the show been so far for you, Gina?
It's been an excellent show. It feels, as you can hear from my voice, it feels almost normal again, right? It feels like we are so close to 2019, you can touch it. But we've also evolved as an industry, and that's what I love to see. So we're in West Hall, which is the new hall, and I can't tell you how exciting it was to see those doors open and that flood of people come in on day one. My goodness, it was amazing. And just that surge of energy that follows. It's like a wind tunnel of energy. I loved it.
Definitely. All right, hopefully you can hear me. We're good. Okay, we can hear you, so.
Excellent. I'm so glad.
Yes. So with conferencing and collaboration and everything that we've gone through with the pandemic, and obviously we've all been using platforms to communicate virtually, there's definitely been more of a focus on the end user. Can you speak a little bit to that in terms of the conferencing and collaboration platforms that we're using?
Yeah, I'll jump in and just say you've got a couple of panelists here that not only believe in collaboration, but from the day we met, we were all about collaboration, right? Because we know that when we collaborate, we learn a lot, and it really helps us individually evolve. So when Gina and I first met, it was actually at an InfoComm event, and really the rest is history, but the collaboration has continued over the years. With end users, I'm also a big proponent of getting end users to collaborate, right? Because if you're a large global end user and you have a set of standards, you've gone through a lot of time and effort and proof of concept, et cetera, to validate your standards. And our AV community is about collaboration and sharing, and I've seen so many end users help other end users learn from what they've done and tested so that it helps their learning curve just shoot up. So yesterday I was meeting with Intuit, I saw eBay walk by, and they both just stopped and the collaboration began. And it's like, hey, what do you think is the coolest thing at the show? And hey, are you guys still using XYZ? And oh, you changed, why? And let's talk about standards for a moment too. Many of them went through all this work to get standards, but in this last 18 months, standards are out the window. It's just all about what can I get, right? But we're going to get back to standards as well. But collaboration is just so critical to help. Technology is so fast, so we've got to move the learning curve up.
Definitely.
You know, Gina, one of the more exciting things that I've seen, especially at a show like InfoComm, is that, you know, it used to be, AV used to be very hide the secret sauce, hide the proprietary information. Now it's almost like everybody's sharing everything that they can, even between competitors. Talk a little bit about how that collaboration has actually helped the industry.
Well, and I think Corey has a great position because that whole idea of partnerships, that whole idea of building a community, regardless of where you sit within that community, so important to our industry. Dave was just on talking about AV, IT, education, educating IT people about, you know, AV doesn't change IT. It just gives them a little bit more of a handle on what to expect and how to implement and design. For our community, the strength really is not in that black magic. Oh, sorry. But it really is in the people. It really is in the innovation. It really is in the ability to kind of grow and piece more fortification together. So I think that partnerships have become really important now because of supply chain, because of the things that we've been seeing in the industry, because of the uncertainty of the economy. Those partnerships help to fortify this industry, just as diversity helps to fortify this industry, just like inclusion helps to fortify this industry. So exclusion is never good for anybody. Propriety is never good for anybody when you're trying to weather storms.
Excellent point. And I'm just going to add, the end user needs us to collaborate, right? Yes. Because they don't want one manufacturer to provide all for all the reasons Gina just mentioned. And we can follow IT. We're seeing collaboration in IT, right? Microsoft Teams collaborates with Zoom, right?
Absolutely.
So there's, I mean, end users will be better served when we think about what is in their best interest versus what is in our best interest, right?
Well, we can't let you guys leave without another pull of the AVIXA Lot 5000. Look, hopefully we get a straight answer this time. I don't know where Dave is, but I got to go find him.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can crack a real answer out of him. But let's roll it. Let's spin that thing one more time.
Gina, we got this.
I think so.
The question is, what is the most challenging AV trend?
Oh, he got the heater. Corey, we'll kick it off. What's the most challenging AV trend right now?
Diversity.
Very short and sweet, but honestly, I 100% agree with you.
Yep. I mean, I can't even agree more. It's one of those things that Corey so poignantly put yesterday at the AVIXA Women's Council breakfast. She said her one disappointment, I'm not going to say regret, although I think you did.
I did.
Her one disappointment is that in her 30 years in the industry, they went from 6% to 14% of women in the industry from a demographic standpoint, and that it should be at 52%.
Yeah.
Right? It should be similar to the world demographics, and I think that you are so right on with that, and I think we have such a long way to go, but we have the people here to do it.
Yeah.
Well, all of our future ladies in AV have two great people to look up to. Gina and Corey, thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you for asking.
Hey, and we talk about AV in Vegas. We have our last episode of the show today, spotlighting the newest installation of the LED screens over at The Link. Check it out.
The Link is part of the Caesars entertainment portfolio of hotels and resorts that caters very much towards a younger consumer. This is a very challenging project at The Link. We're taking one of the oldest buildings in Las Vegas and turning it into the next generation entertainment environment with a lot of new cool technology. We chose McCann Systems, and McCann ultimately led us to Unilumen, and as you can see, the product has been great for us.
McCann Systems was involved with the Caesars Link Sportsbook from design to implementation. We worked very closely with them to come up with the right technologies to put in the spaces that Caesars required to have the best customer experience.
This was a really ambitious install, and McCann Systems and Unilumen helped take it from incubation all the way to ribbon cutting.
There were numerous challenges related to this project in bringing the Link to life. One was that we had to find new emerging technology that really didn't exist in the commercial environment.
Traditionally, we see LED displays being mounted in very basic formats, wall-mounted, 16:9 aspect ratios. At the Link, what our challenge was is to create very unique geometries that helped shape a space and bring people in and help guide them through. As you approach the facility from the southwest side of the Las Vegas Boulevard, there are some large outdoor marquees that kind of beckon you to come inside. As you transcend into the southwest entrance, we have a LED tunnel, LED that goes up the wall, across the ceilings, and kind of creates this very immersive feel. As you then transcend into the casino, we have a bunch of 3D ceiling features that are strategically placed throughout the ceiling, not only to entice you, but also to help act as a wayfinding to kind of continue your journey through the property.
We have everything in here from interactive artwork to lights that are controlled by the artwork, so the mood of the casino changes. The LED screens even celebrate with you when you hit a jackpot, and they celebrate in the whole casino with you. It's a unique space that's never been done before.
The guest experience of the book is not just entertaining, but also very functional for sports betting, for relaxing and watching a game, or just simply enjoying the atmosphere.
So the book is our brand new sports viewing experience that's unlike anything else you've ever seen before. You control up to 6 screens, you can control your own audio, you can play Xbox, you can watch games in virtual reality, you can even play field goal kicking competitions right off of your drink coasters. It's an unbelievable experience, something you've never seen in any other sports bar or restaurant you've been to. That's the new book experience. Our guests love these displays because when you walk by a casino, these are things you don't normally see when you walk by the space or you walk down the Las Vegas Strip. They see this full, bright, vibrant atmosphere.
I think what makes this project stand out from other installations is the variety of different types of LED used and really the content that was put on those displays.
A project like this has never been done before. It's the most ambitious casino build, especially from an AV standpoint, in the world right now.
At the end of the day, what we created was an experience that is non-linear, non-repetitive, and very different than what folks are used to seeing. By partnering with Unilumin, we were able to look at the areas, identify what we wanted to do, and then build brand new products that didn't necessarily exist at the time to allow us to fit that need.
All right, and welcome back, everybody, to the end of this show.
This morning
We've only got
show.
one
Yeah.
more left after this. I don't know, Sam. That's a little sad.
It's a little bittersweet.
Yeah. Look, I will plug this though. Our finale episode of InfoComm, documenting my weird adventures in Las Vegas, will air this afternoon, so be sure to tune in for that. Sam, what else does everybody have to look forward to?
Well, we definitely want to check out what's still left on the technology innovation stage. There's still a lot of information that we're sharing and products that we're featuring. So
We'll be out there too.
oh yes, we will be. So you definitely don't want to miss that. That's at 2:30.
2:30 Pacific, I believe.
2:30
Yeah.
Pacific time. So, well, let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up in the technology innovation stage.
Welcome back, everyone. At 9:30 a.m., join IFMA's Workplace Evolutionaries as they present Hybrid Work, What Lies Ahead. As much of the workforce is returning back to the office, this panel will discuss the changing role of the hybrid workspace. Then, dive back into the metaverse and gain insights into what live events look like now and what they can look like in the future with the advancement of both augmented and virtual reality technologies during the session, Live Events and the Metaverse, taking place at 12 p.m. noon. If you want to get ahead of the game and prepare for future hybrid workforce technology needs, then you'll absolutely want to check out the Facilities Manager Technology Roadmap, and that session is taking place at 1:30 p.m. And finally, come back to the technology innovation stage one last time at 2:30 p.m. to hear my AVIXA TV co-host, Ben Thomas with Market Scale, and I recap takeaways from InfoComm. Can't wait to see you there.
The future of work will be fluid, dynamic, and cloud-powered, with experiences that allow us to be there from anywhere at any time, with meetings that you can join seamlessly, that bring us together, that are inclusive, and everyone clearly represented. We see a future where meetings are immersive and spaces are designed around people, bringing everyone together around the same virtual table, even if they're not in the room. And dynamic meeting views that keep everyone connected to the content and each other. And everyone can connect face to face wherever they are with intelligent gesture recognition that uses AI to recognize physical cues, like when people want to speak and when they've spoken. With interactive experiences like collaborative chats that complement meetings. And where presenters can stand out in front of their content. And rich interactive experiences, such as digital canvases, to unleash group creativity. Meetings of the future will be more intelligent, so you can disconnect when you need to, knowing AI-powered tools have got you covered with follow-ups and action items. Our vision for meetings is grounded in a simple belief. They should offer so much more than a one-time transaction, with intelligent tools and experiences that you can access before, during, and after to keep collaboration moving in the flow of work. Meetings of the future will be designed for everyone, offering the best of both worlds, whether you're in the room or across the globe.